Yankees now.
I'm okay, thank you.
Time for the Yanks, Eddie.
Let's go, Yanks. How you doing?
Eddie, with Kambosos winning the fight over the weekend, is your number one priority, if Haney can beat Diaz like he's expected to, is to make that fight, even if it's got to happen in Australia, to take Haney and get him that opportunity?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, look, I feel nervous talking about it because of what happened last Saturday, but I actually like the idea of Australia. But I just think it's such a big statement for Devin to go over there. Imagine if he was to win, go over and win all the belts. And George Kambosos, who's, I don't represent him, but he's like a hero of mine at the moment because what he did last weekend was incredible. And he deserves that as well. If I was his promoter, I would be saying, you're fighting in Australia. And our plan, we've got massive plans for Australia in 2022 that actually didn't involve George Kambosos. But if we can be part of a historic fight like that, it would be massive for us. And we just need to see him come through JoJo Diaz. It's a tremendous fight, but I really believe he's going to shine on Saturday night. I think he's going to stop JoJo Diaz, and I think it'll be a major statement.
Yeah, I mean...
Is there a launch date? Sorry, is there a launch date for the Zone Australia?
No, our plan was probably around sort of June time next year. We're slowly building our stable. I mean, Brock Jarvis was a big signing for us. Dempsey McLean, 20-0 heavyweight. Ebony Bridges, of course. Sky Nicholson's turning pro soon. Hopefully we get her. And of course, you've got Liam Paro, you've got Tim Zhu, guys that aren't with us. But it's really, Australian boxing is flying high. And it's just moments like last Saturday that can just change a sport in that country. And Kambosos is king right now. And he deserves all the praise he gets.
Eddie, you saw Ryan Garcia want to throw his hat in there. Pay-per-view dollars are always there with Davis in the division. Why do you think, how confident are you can lure George to Haney instead of those other options?
Well, I think it's all about money, isn't it? We have to get the right package together. But I do think it doesn't matter how you want to dress it up, right? To be undisputed, every governing body needs to call you the undisputed champion. And as a franchise belt holder, the other governing bodies will not accept you as a unified or an undisputed champion. So I understand the WBC will say he's undisputed, but the other governing bodies don't accept that he's undisputed. So therefore, in my book, he's not. Now, maybe he should be, and Teofimo should have been. But the way the belt's fragmented, it means that the only way to find the true undisputed champion is if he fights Devin Haney. And also, wasn't it also, I mean, this is a question for Maurizio when he comes tomorrow, you can't win a franchise championship. Isn't that right?
Originally, it's supposed to be non-transferable. Yeah. Was that right?
They changed the rules as they go.
Right, okay.
Initially, it was non-transferable. Now you can request to win it if you're fighting the franchise champion.
Okay.
But, I mean, I feel like Mauricio himself doesn't, know. I mean, you go on the WBC website and you look up the ratings. They have a picture of Devin Haney saying lightweight champion. And then under, it'll say, WBC franchise status, and then it'll say George Kambosos.
The truth is Devin Haney is WBC world champion. Like it, don't like it, whatever. And hopefully this fight will start allowing him to get the respect. Don't forget, he chased Lomachenko for the mandatory position. He didn't want to be given the belt as interim champion. But these are the kind of fights that will give him the respect to say, okay, he's going out, he's fighting the best guys in the division. And this is a big win for him. But I think you guys, look, I love Mauricio, right? He does a lot of good stuff for the sport. But I think this is the time to actually say to Mauricio, stop saying it's undisputed. We've got a chance here to actually make the undisputed. Devin against George Kambosos. Let's not go into that fight saying, oh, well, actually, it's not undisputed. Because, well, it is undisputed. He's the undisputed. He's not. It's not. That final belt makes no arguments about the undisputed championship. But it's all irrelevant if Devin doesn't win on Saturday.
Has Mauricio, you think, bent himself around too much with that? Because the WBC is the most prestigious title there is, and it feels like at times he does these things to accommodate fighters. He doesn't want to piss them off. Do you feel like he has?
Yeah, I think it's
he has more leverage than he realizes.
Yeah, I think as a governing body, it's really a difficult job because you've got fighters, promoters, managers asking for this, put this guy in the rankings, give this guy a shot, make this an eliminator. And it's very hard to keep everybody happy. And it's a tough job running a governing body, But me and Maurizio, we get on really well, but sometimes we'll have a little argument because I'm honest. And I have to say things that I believe in, and I don't believe in the franchise championship. I believe in giving fighters the opportunity to chase greatness. And what the franchise belt does is it doesn't allow you to chase greatness because you can't get there. You can't build your way up a rankings, have a final eliminator, and finally get your chance to beat an all-time great. The all-time greats are put on the shelf and you can't touch them. That's not right for the development of the sport and giving fighters opportunities. Devin Haney chased Lomachenko. I said to him, what about the IBF? What about, he said, no, I want Lomachenko. So he built his way up, boxed a final eliminator, and then top-ranked petition to make Lomachenko a franchise champion so he wouldn't have to fight Devin Haney. So that for me that's not what the sport is about.
Mm-hmm.
So we got the WBC, with the franchise issues, and then we have the WBA eliminating titles, which we've all been asking for a long time. They said this Sunday, the Gervonta Davis, Isaac Cruz, the winner of that will be ordered to fight George Kambosos for the WBA next. Thoughts on that, and that possibly delaying or causing issues in making Kambosos and
there'll
Haney.
definitely be issues and there'll definitely be delays. It's just what happens. I think that Gervonta's situation, I think Gervonta's brilliant, by the way. I think he's a brilliant fighter. I think he's so exciting. But it's like he's never won a real world title.
At 130.
Yeah,
Pedraza.
130 against Pedraza. Sorry, take that back. And I was there that night. That was a good performance. But you can't call him they call him a 3-division world champion. He's not. He's a brilliant
The
fighter.
Leo Santa Cruz belt was real too.
Because that
That was
was
the super title at 130.
at 130, but that one also included the 135, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I mean it included
No, but-
his 130, but the Leo Santa Cruz belt is real.
Well, at 130.
At 130, but
So
he's
two-time
saying-
champion at 130.
Yeah, but he's already been a 130 champion. Is what I'm saying. They call him a free-weight world champion, which I don't say. And I'm not hating on Gervonta. I think he's brilliant, right? But again, it's the same problem with Devin. Is that's not Gervonta's fault, but it becomes too easy to do that. And with Devin should be, in my opinion, a world champion, but he doesn't get the respect because of the way it played out. It's not his fault.
Mm-hmm.
He wanted to fight Lomachenko. But now you're going through fighters like Linares and JoJo Diaz, where after Saturday, I believe you guys, and if you don't already, say, yeah, okay, respect, you're a legitimate world champion. But he wanted to win that.
Absolutely.
He didn't want to just, and again, I think what the WBA doing now is brilliant. Let's get rid of those regular belts and those interim titles. There's nothing wrong with having one champion. But I go back to it's very difficult for these governing bodies because I harass them. Aram harasses them. Heyman harasses them. Put our guy in here. We're all hedging our positions. International titles, WBA continentals, moving up rankings, getting opportunity here. And they don't want to upset anyone. It's a very tough job for them.
Just speaking of Davis, Leonard Ellerby had a lot to say your way about what he said, throwing the name in the hat for making a Gervonta fight with Devin. What'd you think about Leonard's comments? And then, going about, he seems to have the perspective of build Devin into a star first, and then we have a fight.
Again,
kind of thing.
not
Yeah.
hating on Gervonta Davis, right? Because,
And, yeah.
But what's the bigger fight this weekend? I'm sorry, but everybody's talking about Haney Diaz. No one's talking about Gervonta against Isaac Cruz. And I'm not saying it's a bad fight or anything. I'm not hating on these guys. This is a much bigger fight than that fight. And it's a much better fight. So you can't keep ignoring people and just live in a bubble and say, yeah, when those guys do that, it's like Demetrius Andre. Yeah, when that guy wins a world title, all right, wins a world title. Oh yeah, he don't sell any tickets, sells out Providence. He's not making any money, making a lot of money. Like, they've already said they'll only fight guys in the PBC. So that tells you everything you need to know.